Hey, how you doing? This is Maxwell, the broker and owner of Maxwell Realty, and Ms. Muriel Jones is doing a great thing for society. These individuals were homeless, but now they have a home because we partnered with Menchfield House. They're awesome, and we were able to get them off the street.
We are being the arms and the feet of Jesus. That's right, New Beach Grove and In Touch. We just had the opportunity to bless an individual with some furniture and some dishes and some bedding because they were in need. New Beach Grove and In Touch had an opportunity to do that as well. They were in need of some things, and because of your donations, because of your partnership, because of blessing the church, we were able to be an extension and bless them as well. Listen, we really want to say thank you and say continue to do what you're doing, because you never know what your efforts and your contributions continues to bless this community.
When I have another praise report, I just had 2 more people get their first investment house. And this sounds kind of cheating. 1 house, 2 people. The brothers just bought their first investment property. Nathaniel and Esmond Calvin, man, it's awesome. Big brother, little brother pulling together to buy an investment property. And guess what they did? They're helping someone who has a Section 8 voucher who was about to be homeless. They found us. They said they have a voucher that's about to expire. We were able to get them an extension so they won't be homeless. This is awesome. Now I'll tell you, this is awesome. This is not only, people are not only making money to have legacy for their families, but they're also building legacy for other people to make sure that they're able to get off the street, have a nice home, so they'll be able to go out, find a job, and be able to produce and be productive citizens in the community. That's awesome. Nothing but God.
Well, I think I've always had a passion and the idea in my mind to have investment properties and get some type of residual income. And I just thought that was crazy that the pastor just started talking about it. He's already a broker and everything. He's got his own company that he opened up in Virginia. So everything was just kind of falling into place. We got a tenant lined up. So, I mean, that's what Pastor Maxwell has helped. You know, big ups to him, because he definitely made the process smooth and easy. You can't be scared. You gotta step out on faith. That's one thing. And who better to go in business with your brother than?
Yeah. When you brought the idea to me, first I was thinking like, man, that's a big step. At the same time, it's like, why not take that step, you know? Who's to say we can't do it?
Yeah.
Being brothers, generational wealth, just one step forward to a greater legacy.
Yeah. Step out on faith, get the knowledge. Hey, Pastor Maxwell got it, man. So, hey.
What we've done, we partnered with Maxwell Realty after Maxwell Realty found a home for this young lady and her family. She has some disabilities and lack of mobility. So we've put in a tub. We're putting in a tub that can open up so she won't fall. She had a couple of falls. We've also put ramps in the house, and we also put rails on so she can lift herself up around the tub and in the bathroom area. So we just thank our partners and friends that continue to donate to In Touch CDC, that continue to donate to New Beach Grove, and continue to support Maxwell Realty so we can continue to help these type of people who are in need. It's awesome. One day they were homeless, now they have a home, and now they're able to have it accommodate them for the particular needs that they have. Actually, the funny thing, we got the house handicap accessible for a misshoot, but I forgot to tell you all that the son, Mr. Shoot, was being helped by Menchfield House, and now he has a house, and they helped him find a job at the Walmart distribution center. So now he has a new car, able to put his family in the house. We got him some beds, some bedding, some dishes and things of that nature. So yes, it's definitely a blessed day. So we're glad that he's being able to drive independently so he can get to and from work. So yes, God has been blessing individuals so much, and we thank you, our generous donors who donate to In Touch CDC, who donate to New Beach Grove, who partner with Maxwell Realty and Willard Maxwell Ministries. I love you all so much.
Hey, thank you.
Wow, thank you all so much. Everyone on this stage has made a difference, and everyone outside has made a difference as well. And it's amazing because the Randolphs were just saying, "Hey, isn't that who bought the house? You do know this who you bought the house from on 23rd Street, okay?" yeah. So we brought the seller and the buyer together to kind of give testimony. And so what I'm gonna do is kind of introduce everyone, and then we'll go into the panel. So you should have your mics. And Brother Nathaniel Calvin is one of my members, and he's a first-time, he's not a first-time home buyer, but he's a first-time investment buyer. And him and his brother pulled together to make sure that they were able to put the funds together. And he'll share his testimony. And Ms. Lynn Finding over here, she's the director of Link of Hampton Roads, and she will talk to us about how she needs our help, because a lot of times people may not purchase homes because they don't feel like they have a renter. Believe me, renters are everywhere. It's not going to be hard to find. And then with her, you're able to do ministry and help people. Ms. Muriel Jones, she's another member as well of New Beach Grove, and she bought her first investment property. Ms. Tawana Randolph is one of my agents, but she's also who taught you about the setting up your LLCs and your businesses. And Brother William Randolph is her husband, so don't say nothing to her too funny because he'll get you. And he's a private lender. He has so many different businesses, but he was here as a private lender. And we want to make sure that we kind of do an overview, because I ain't gonna mess with you. I'm gonna tell somebody else's story. But I think last week the last time we heard people were kind of overwhelmed because there was so much information coming out from Brother Sean. And I think he would say, does everyone understand? And people were like, yes, but you could tell they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Some people were like, man, I was online shopping. Some people were like, look, man, I got to go home. Ain't know we're going to be here this long. You know, folks just make up something to do. So I was like, it was kind of overwhelming. And he went over subject twos. He went over creative finance. And he went over so many different things that I don't even remember everything he went over. I knew the stuff, but it was like, man, I was like, hey, man, you think you teaching too much? Oh, man, they say they get it. It doesn't matter what they say. As a teacher and as an educator, I know you can say you know, but I looked in your eyes and knew you didn't know. So the eyes don't lie. So what I wanted to do is make sure I brought a team of individuals here. We could answer questions. If you had any question about subject two, you had any question about creative financing, you had any question about your LLC, and I wanted to have some testimonials up here so you would be able to see what they went through in order to purchase a home. So I know a lot of us are investing. Some of us aren't here today, but we're invested in the investor masterminds. We paid our fee for the year, but we still haven't purchased anything. And my thing is, I mean, I'm not gonna give your money back, but I didn't want you to think I was going there. But I really don't want to just take your money and you not be empowered, because I'm supposed to. Yeah, you get no refund. But what I want to do is make sure that I am covering everything and giving you as much tools as I can to make sure that if you don't purchase something, it's your fault. It won't be my fault. It'll be because you didn't use the information and didn't step out on faith. That's what I'm saying. So as an educator, when I see that sometimes that people aren't meeting the objectives or learning or where I would want them to be at that time, sometimes it's time for a review. And that's where I am right now. Because by this time, we have three people that purchase homes. Well, I know we're cheating because it's 2 and 1 with you who have purchased homes. Actually, we actually have 4. He's just not here. He couldn't come on today. So we actually have 4 investor mastermind individuals who have purchased homes. And again, I'm not trying to rush you, but I felt like if you're invested in this class, this is because you eventually want to purchase a home and do a flip or rent or something in order to generate income. So what I want to do, because I don't know how busy Ms. Lynn Finding is, I want her to tell you kind of a little bit about Link of Hampton Roads and what she does, because the young lady, Miss Shoot, who home that you saw when we were putting the ramps in, that's one of her people that she referred, and they give out vouchers for people who can't pay their rent. And then the young man, the son, through Minchville House, he was dealing with Minchville House, and he was over there, and he just said, hey, I need a house too, when I was over there. And I said, okay. And I didn't even know Minchville House even help males, but they help males. They can't turn anyone away. Their target is women, but they help males as well. So we went, and Justin and I went to do a tour of the of one of the facilities where Mitchell House is. What's that place? Four Oaks. We went to Four Oaks because I really was just going to investigate to make sure he really had a voucher because I didn't see anything. And so I did all this filming and we ain't even used it yet. But I kind of was just doing my due diligence because I ain't never heard them helping a guy. They say, yeah, we help guys. I say, oh, hey, you know so-and-so. And then we went from there. But because Ms. Lynn, she, I'm gonna let her tell you, but she always is looking for us to purchase homes to make sure that we're able to take care of people. Now, you're helping people who are homeless. So you're not just helping people, regular people, you're gonna help people who are homeless. So I'm gonna let Ms. Lynn Finding kind of tell you exactly what she does and exactly what Link of Hampton Roads does, so you will know when you buy a home that you're doing far more than helping a regular person. You're definitely doing kingdom ministry. Go ahead, Ms. Finding.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. So Link works with the homeless. We were here for 17 weeks last year, working with many, many people. There was 466 people that went through this program, the Port Shelter program last year. And you were responsible, New Beach Grove, for approximately 5,000 of those bed nights during that 17 weeks. So it's pretty phenomenal, the job that you did. Now, the other piece to Link is we do a permanent supportive housing program, which is HUD funded, and we can pay up to 30% of somebody's rent, up to 70%, I'm sorry, of somebody's rent. Now, we get referrals from homeless people through the community who sometimes don't even have any money, have any income at all, and we house them no matter what. So if they come in with no money, then we're paying 100% of their rent. So the desperation right now for us is to find units. We have 15 people, I believe, that were housed recently. They transferred from our program into what's called a mainstream voucher program, which is like Section 8. But it's still kind of case managed, but not as intensely as we do. So these transfers have opened up slots for us to house homeless people who are referred to us by the community. So most of them are one-bedroom units that we're looking for, one or two-bedroom units that we can, some of our folks are in two-bedroom that we pay a one-bedroom price for. But these folks are all case managed on a regular basis. So that means we go in once a week when they first come in and make sure that they stabilize, because when they've been out on the streets for a long time, chronically homeless, it takes us about a year to stabilize them with all of the things that they need. If they have an income, then we help them to manage their money. Sometimes if they're a little bit disabled, then we get a payee for them, so that the rent, their portion of the rent is paid first, and then they have pocket money that they live on for the remainder of the month. We do ancillary services with food and clothing, furniture and household items. It's all used items that we provide to them. But our program is just one piece of it, and I'm always on to Maxwell, please find me another house, please find me another house. But right now, there's so much money flowing through this community, not just this community, but across the country, for people to be housed rather than homeless. And what that means is there's not just our program, which is a supportive housing for persons with disabilities. There's vouchers there for people who don't fall into that category of disabled. So like Hampton and Newport News Social Services have money to house people with a voucher program that is similar to ours. So they'll pay either 100% or 70% of their money. And these are 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units that they're looking for, sometimes 5, depending on the size of the family. So if this is the time to buy and invest, truly take advantage of it if you can take advantage of it, because the monies are flowing out there. Most of the agencies will pay a double deposit. So I think legally it's first month's rent and deposit. Is that right? No, last month's rent and deposit. Is that right? You know the legalities more than I do, but you can get a double deposit up front. So for instance, if somebody is going into one of our programs where it's subsidized or on a voucher program, if the client fails to pay their portion of the rent, their 30%, which is only about $100, maybe $200 max, if they fail to pay that, you've got enough money to fall back on until you have to take eviction proceedings. But I can tell you, probably in the last, since 2004 when we started this program, we've maybe had about 10 people evicted in that time. So it's very, very low, and usually it's because of inability to handle their money.
So when she said only 10 were evicted, it's not because the government stopped it. It's because only 10 needed to be evicted from not paying. And so with this program, it's stable because it's governmental funds, so they always have money. You know, they run out of money, they print some more, right? Inflation goes up, but at least you still receive your money. And one thing about Link, they pay you quick. So I didn't even realize. Now I realize where all the other money came from. So I didn't even know about the double deposit. I probably wasn't paying attention when she was telling me. I was just going to get the house because she needed a house. Because when she said she needed a house, I go get a house. But with you all, can I tell you some of my motive? Some of my motive is I love Ms. Lynn. I want her to be taken care of. I can't buy all the houses. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it. And so sometimes not even because of money. I just don't have time to go through some of the steps sometimes. But once I get you all started, then my agents take over, like Mr. Wano or Miss Kidd or Jessica or Whitley, and they take over and start doing it. Then that frees me up to do what I need to do with the direct ministry of saving souls. Now this is ministry. That's why I'm bringing it here. I know everybody that comes to this class doesn't go to church, but I'm always a kingdom-hearted person. And so when I work with people like Miss Lynn, go ahead, you about to say something?
Just if somebody fails to pay their portion of the rent, we continue to pay our portion, which is around $700 or $800, depending on what the rental amount is. So we continue to pay that until they've been evicted.
Well, I'm gonna get them a number that sounds better. Their portion for the rent that they pay for my people is $1,600. I know she said $700 to $800 because that's according to the 1-bedroom, but I have a 4-bedroom voucher, people. So if they don't pay me, I still let them stay a couple of days because I know it's still gonna cover the note. And then they pay another portion of it, like $250, something like that. So actually y'all pay $16. They're gonna tell you exactly what you pay, $16.53. That's what they pay for their portion because of the voucher. Now, right now, they have more 1-bedroom vouchers, but the thing about it is guaranteed money, right? It's guaranteed money, and you're helping someone in need. It should make you even feel. I feel better when I'm dealing with Link. Oh, go ahead. You about to say something? She said, what areas do you cover? I think Newport. You can tell them.
We do Hampton, Newport News, York County, Poquoson. We don't really have any. We could do Poquoson, Williamsburg. So it's really the peninsula, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But most of they like sticking with Newport News and Hampton.
Correct, yeah. But because we can case manage there. But there's other agencies like ours on the south side. So it was formerly Access. It's now the LGBT Center that deals with people with HIV and AIDS. They're always looking for places. There's many of us out there. CSB, who has mentally ill people, they're always looking for housing too. That is same as us, subsidized.
Right. So great program. So before we get with the Randolphs, I want to go ahead and touch bases with some of our first-time investor buyers. And even though she didn't go through Link, Ms. Muriel has it where she has a Menchville house tenant in it. Actually, the son of Ms. Shute, who's the Link of Hampton Roads client. Go ahead, Ms. Muriel. Tell them about your situation. Yeah.
So initially, I always knew I wanted to invest, and when Pastor Maxwell started talking about generational wealth, I thought it was a good opportunity, a good time to dive a little bit further in it, but I was on the fence, very much so. And I actually went back to look at the sermons because I was telling you that you did a sermon that really spoke to me, and that's when I really decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. And it was on the 19th of September when Pastor Bowen was here, and the two of you had a conversation, and you were going back and forth, and he mentioned that God had told him it was time for him to release his church into the hands of someone else. And you spoke with him about his decision to release it, and you said that we are always scared when we don't know exactly what we are supposed to do. We don't need to know everything all the time. And listening to you say that as Christians, you know, we know that we need to walk in faith, but we don't do it. that just kind of spoke to me. And that Sunday, I actually sent you a text message about a house that you had sent me. And it was taken off the market because I moved a little too slow. But after that, you know, the communication between us was, you know, check this out. And so I decided to go for it. And initially, there was a little bit of, you know, intimidation because I'm not good with numbers. This is all new to me, but Pastor Maxwell and his team were really awesome with walking me through the entire process. And before it was over, I had a tenant. Before I'd even finished signing the contract, I had a tenant lined up.
Yes, and one thing I would say is she listened. So with me, just so you know, when I'm bringing people in to teach you, when I'm bringing the Randolphs in to teach you about creative finance, when I'm bringing them in to teach you how to set up the LLC, when I'm bringing Brother Sean in or other people in, so you can learn more about it. It's not so I can just throw you away and let you do it on your own. I'm still going to help walk you through the process because I'm your real estate broker. I'm your real estate agent. I'm the person that's representing you and helping you through the process. But the more you know, the more comfortable you'll become. When you learn how to do the numbers, you'll understand, oh, I see why he's telling me this property is good. Because I had a situation where, and they're not here today, where I told them to get this house, but they didn't jump on it. So I went ahead and bought it. And then so I did get that. I am getting that 1-bedroom you sent to me in Hampton for your people. But I tried to give it to one of my people. Now, if one of you all say you want it before we leave today, it's like $95,000. And it really doesn't need any work. It just need some paint. That's about it. And the voucher for that one, if you put 20% down on the $95,000 investment loan, because you have to put down 20% if it's an investment property, is the note gonna be like $500, and you're gonna be getting $972 because it's a 1-bedroom voucher, and it's gonna be automatic money, and it's not even that big of a fix-up. Because I run into so many different things because I'm on the planning commission, I'm on the board of review, I'm the NAACP press, so I'm always running into something. Plus, Lynn just sent me this one. I ain't have to do anything. She's like, all right, dude, I need some houses. That's a nice way of telling me, hurry up, I need a house. She don't say, hey, when you gonna find a house? She just starts sending me houses. So that's how I found that one, you know, with Miss Lynn. So she'll help find us houses because she needs to make sure that she's taking care of these individuals. And I know a lot of times people have partnerships like this and they try to hoard them in. But Ms. Lynn even sent me other people, other organizations, but I'm like, I can't hardly halfway keep up with your organization. I'll call her later, so I haven't called that young lady yet. So I'll call her now that I see your face. But I need my investor masterminds and other people to step up if we want to move forward. You about to say something? Oh, okay. So I want to go to brother Nathaniel Calvin. He bought his first home as well, and first investment home, and he has someone on Section 8. And I'll let him say, if he leave this one part out, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say something about it. But go ahead, Brother Calvin.
Can you hear me? What part you gonna leave out?
Since you put it up there, well, first of all, me, when I'm representing you, that's what I'm worried about the most. So sometimes I may seem mean, but I'm not. I'm just a businessman. So the Section 8 voucher people were taking too long. And so I was like, whatever. I found another renter for them, and I was going to put that renter in because they didn't need to go through the process. So the lady was crying because she was about to be homeless, and I cared, but I don't represent her at that time. I'll come back and find you somewhere. So I was like, whatever. But then my Antonio Mason, the other investor that goes to my church, said, no, Pastor, man, I was homeless before, so go ahead and let her have it. We can find my granddaughter another house. I was like, okay. And then Brother Calvin was like, yeah, we can just wait on her. I think he was just waiting because the voucher was going to give him more money anyway. but I was just like, they take it too long. But what I had to end up doing was I called Minchfield House because I knew they had a relationship with the Section 8 people. And then they called, and then the wild thing about it is the man called. You know, people know that you didn't snitched on them or whatever. And so he said, hey, I can come do the house today. You want me to come do the house today? I'm like, first of all, he didn't say hello or anything. I didn't know who he was. I'm like, what are you talking about? 23rd Street. I can go out there right now today, right now. I'm like, well, look, right now I'm on the way to a hearing. And then Miss Ayana called on the other line, called him, and he said, hold on, Miss Ayana. I said, is that Miss Ayana? He said, yeah. I said, well, look, talk to her and I got to go. And then they sent someone out there because I just used somebody that had a relationship with them to put pressure on them. But anyway, go ahead, businessman who cares about the homeless as long as they're bringing you some money. You know, go ahead.
Where do I start? Well, I've always had a sense of wanting to start my own business and be my own boss, things of that nature. I retired from the United States Army in 2015, and with that mindset, I'd always had in the back of my mind, I want to be my own boss. I don't want 5, 6, 7, 11 people telling me what to do. So I stepped out on faith, and I medically discharged, medically retired from the United States Army, stepping out on faith. And I think that was probably one of the first times that I ever trusted God, that I could really, say that was my first big step. Because I was told that I wasn't gonna amount to a lot of things after getting out the Army. There's no jobs out there. There's you're not gonna be able to have a house. You're not gonna be able to take care of your family and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here listening to all this negativity, and I just prayed. I started praying, and God revealed to me, you listening to somebody that's been in a system for 20 years, how are you gonna listen to them? So I said, okay. So I moved on. I'm stepping out on faith. I've always wanted to have an idea of my own business and stuff like that. So me and Pastor got a special relationship. I'm his armor bearer, so I can, I don't like to all the time, but I pick up the phone and I call him and I ask him questions and stuff. I know he's a real estate broker, and when things started falling into place like that, you putting up your business in the time of COVID, it was just doors opening up, and I'm like, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Now, how am I gonna get into it? Because there was another property that we had looked at together too. I don't know if you want to. So, and then I got a place to be at 11 too. So I'm gonna try to hurry it up, but I want to do this for you. So there was another property, and it didn't go so well because I'm sitting there. I got a family too. I got a wife, y'all, and I'm gotta make it make sense to everybody. But I'm saying we got to trust in God. We got to do this. This makes sense. And what I did was I used a HELOC, the home equity line of credit, and generational wealth. You're preaching on that. You're preaching on how Christians shouldn't be broke, busted, and disgusted. I'm into all of that stuff. I believe, I like nice things. And I want the generational wealth to trickle through our kids, When we talk about us as a people, that's important to me. I feel like we were slow to start the race under certain circumstances. Let's be real. So I want the wealth to trickle. After I'm gone, I want to go to my kids. I got my 3 kids right there. I want them to be a part of me when I'm starting businesses. I want them to be a part of, I want them to know the knowledge of investment properties and stuff like that. What I know, I'm going to pass it down. I'm going to share it with my friends. I'm going to share it with my family. And what better way to go into my first investment property with my little brother? If y'all don't got a big brother like that, then y'all need to find one. But yeah, man, I'm so blessed. I thank God, and I'm exercising my faith, and I'm getting stronger. We was talking about building your physical muscles. You got to build your spiritual muscles too. And I just thank God that you are my pastor. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't tell you that enough, but I thank God that I could just be in your midst. You know what I'm saying? Because when you bless, it automatically falls down on us. And I just thank God, for you and for the opportunity. That's all I got right now.
Wow, man. Well, wow. Well, I definitely appreciate that. And it's funny. I like the way you tooted your own horn real slick. He said, if you ain't got no big brother like that, you need to go find one, because he the big brother. You know what I'm saying? I put my little brother in, and if you ain't got a big brother like me. No, but that's good. But it was good when he pulled him in, so they bought that together, because a lot of times partnerships are great ways to do investments. And when I talked with the Black brand last year when they had me on it, I talked about partnerships. A lot of times we have this pride where we think we need to do everything by ourselves. You don't need to have a lot of money to make your first investment for a property. I was going to have Ms. Rose on here, but her son in the Super Bowl for the Tri-Cities football, so she couldn't come today. But she had we set up in a subject too. So she's doing a subject too. That's when you take over the mortgage, from someone else, and you may get them $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, whatever you all work out, so they can walk away with something. She did that. But another way is to do partnerships. So without them having to put down a big lump sum of money, what they were able to do with creative finance is just say this, because he already had an owner-occupant home, so the way we set it up with his brother doing it, we could set it up kind of like semi-owner-occupant and have a lower down payment, and then with those two partnering together and buying it, it kept their out-of-pocket expenses down. So I see the cooties back there, right? Cahootie, I keep saying cooties, man, because I ain't got the cooties, they ain't got the cooties either, but the cahooties, they partner with each other, they husband and wife. I mean, the money in there, but they both got jobs, you understand? And when you partner together, I mean, you all partner together, y'all make all the money, loan the money, and charge interest rate and get your money, you know what I'm saying? So it's partnerships, and now you have big brother, little brother pulling together and coming together. Miss Jennifer was pulling some of her friends together to get a property as well. So the thing about it is, stop thinking that you need a lot of money to get your first investment property. You can do a subject to, you can do a partnership and pull other people together. You can do creative financing through Brother Randolph and other people to make sure that you don't have as big a out-of-pocket expense. You know what, since I just said something about Brother Randolph, and I know you got to slip off. Whenever you got to slip off, we good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to caveat, like, it didn't cost a lot of money, like you said. And that was one of the things that my wife was in fear of. Like, she was like, how much money is this going to cost? Because she's the number person. And I was like, well, let me talk to the pastor about that. 'Cause, I mean, we got money, but I ain't trying to dump it all into my first investment property. But it didn't cost that much money. And we still got a lot of money left over that we trying to invest in other things in. So, yeah, I wanted to say that, too. Like, did not cost a lot of money.
Well, let me say this, since your wife do the numbers, I'm finna help you out.
Yes, sir.
You can just throw me under the bus.
No.
The house that you didn't get, Antonio Mason got.
Yep.
And he got a bigger spread on his house than your house.
Oh, I told
so
her
just
that.
let him know, yeah. So
I told her
just
that.
put it on tape.
I told her that.
Brother Calvin did not say that, Miss Calvin. I said it. I'm going to protect my man here, all right? Yeah. You could have made a little more money. It was going to be a little bit more money out of pocket, just a little bit. That's the one that I was calling you about, that I was going to get you to fund, the one on Quad Street. But because I didn't kind of I was too close to it, because as a broker, I shouldn't put money in, right? I shouldn't put money in with my client. I was dealing with the seller and the buyer. So I didn't want to put any money in, so I was reaching out to creative financing people. But what I did was, with Adrian Services, because we deal with them so much, we have a contract with them. They deal with Hampton, and that's Miss Spells, who's my she's my trustee chair, but she's also the CFO of Hampton. So, I called the owner, hey, man, you make a lot of money through the church and through Hampton, right? And we all big family. Can you fix this house? And then you get paid on the back end after closing? And they said, sure. So we did that, and so that's how we were able to get it done. So we had the repairs done up front, and then it was able to close, because you can't get certain loans if repairs are needed. That's why I'm about to throw this over here to Brother Randolph. If you're getting an FHA loan, or sometimes even a conventional loan, any mortgage, thank you, sir. Y'all give Brother Calvin a hand clap as he leaves. Yay. Hold on, before he leaves, she wanted to say something. Go ahead. Go ahead, it'll come on.
Good morning. Before Mr. Calvin leaves, I just want to say that, working with Maxwell Realty, Pastor Maxwell is an awesome broker. And when he says that he puts you all first, he really puts us all first. So just to give you a little background story, I know you have to leave. Pastor Maxwell, the house that Mr. Calvin bought, he actually purchased from our 3 children, that was their first flip. Our kids bought the house from Pastor Maxwell. He called us when he first got the house and said, hey, I have this property that I have, if you all are interested, you can get it. So I'm just saying that to say, when he comes across opportunities, he could very well take all those opportunities to himself and keep them for himself. But he called us because he knows that we're investors. He called us and said, look, I want to give y'all first dibs. I have somebody who's interested, but if he falls through, which he did, then I'll call y'all and let you know. So he called us, we bought the house, we flipped, our kids bought the house. We financed the deal for our children. Keep it all in the family. We financed the deal for our 3 children.
Charge them interest.
They flipped the house, and then Pastor Maxwell, I called Pastor Maxwell. Actually, I think he called me, and I said, because common practice in our office is if we have a listing going on the market, we share with each other first because the market is tight. So we share it within the office first. He said, hey, don't put that house on the market. I got somebody who wants it. So that's how we operate. And we will look out for you all just the same way. You know, if Pastor Maxwell gets overwhelmed, he'll call us and say, hey, I have somebody in my church or I have somebody in the mastermind that needs help finding an investment property. We're here for you. So thank you, Mr. Calvin. I'm glad the house is working out for you, and I'm so happy that your family, congratulations on your first investment property. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And I want to thank, the Randolphs because they were patient because it took us a little while longer to close the home. So thank you all for your patience because the way we started off with the loan in the beginning, they kind of switched it up. And then I had a loan. Anyway, long story short, I had to get another loan officer. So I had to fire some people. You know, see, this is what Christian people need to understand. Remember Jesus said the people of the world are more shrewd than my people. He ain't going to say that about Maxwell because Maxwell is shrewd. You understand? So when they weren't able to do what they were supposed to do, I went ahead and I switched. I still kept it in the same loan company, but I switched loan officer and said, look, this gentleman is not on point. I don't know if he's your brother, your cousin. Y'all do kind of have the same cadence. Their voice sound alike, so I need to move it. And you got to you have to care about yourself the way you look in business, and you have to care about your family, you have to care about whoever you're dealing with enough to say, hey, when someone isn't handling their business, you need to move on to someone else, okay? If someone is willing to do something good and they can't do it, you can't use them. If they can do something good but they're not, you can't use them. You only can use those who are willing and able, all right? If you're able and not willing, I can't use you. If you're willing and not able, I can only use you if you're both. You understand? So a lot of times with church people, and I know I'm not just talking to church people because this goes out to everyone, but church people especially, a lot of times we cater keeping somebody in business to you didn't forgive them. This ain't got nothing to do with forgiveness. If you can't close my loan, can I keep it 100 with you all? It doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not. If I need you to fix my house, I don't care if you know Jesus or not. I try to get you to know Jesus, but if you don't, that's between you and God if you don't feel it. You understand? I just need you to handle your business. And I believe this is a word for my church people because sometimes, in fact, when I first got here, my church, they're going to get mad at me, but I'm going to go there. Miss Lynn, I ain't going to even pull you in it because you work with me too much. I don't want to put your name in it. Maxwell, I'm talking. Trustee B. Oh, I can't talk. Anyway, we love you. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about it. That was before she became, I put on for some stuff. But we kept paying these people to fix this leak in this house over and over again. And then it'll leak the next time it rains. No warranty. Why are we keeping paying these same people and it's not fixed? And a lot of times we were paying them why? Because they come in there talking about, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored of the Lord. Apparently you're not because your work not working. You understand? Blessed and highly favored. And a lot of times we get suckered in. Do your due diligence, research people, and make sure that they don't have negative things on the Better Business Bureau. Make sure that when you call them that you check their references and you see, because a lot of people say they did this house and that house, but they may not have done the house. They might have called it. In fact, somebody told them, can I keep it real? I ain't going to say their name. Somebody told me how they did some type of financing, but they didn't realize I already knew Brother Randolph had done it. And they were trying to take credit for him, and it was funny because it was a small world. And then they ended up calling you to try to get the loan. I would just leave it alone. Let me leave it alone. Let's go. Let's get out of this mess that I've got myself in. The Holy Ghost come back. So look, Brother Randolph is going to tell us how he does creative financing just in case you all may need a house that needs to be built up, okay? Go ahead and let us know about the creative financing, just kind of short. And if you all have any questions, first of all, before we go to any questions right now, I know we haven't really gotten into business right now. What I'm really trying to do is make sure I curate a space where we begin to drive this fear out, because a lot of times we're not moving because of fear, all right? So okay, we're going to keep going. Let them know about creative finance, because if I would have gone through you with Quash, it wouldn't have took as long because we could have got you to fund it and got it fixed at the same time. Go ahead, sir.
So thank you very much. So creative financing is just that. It's looking at alternative ways, exclusive of going to or outside of going to a bank and asking for tax returns, FICO scores, and all the things of that nature. Do you actually look at the value of the asset or the future value of the asset, the anticipated value of the asset to fund your deal? So when there are situations like that, my wife and I, we get together and we look at the specifics of the property, the specifics of the plan to increase its value, to push the equity position in the property, and then we take all that math and draw some conclusions on about what is the amount, level of funding we could provide, the time, terms, in terms of the longevity of the loan, as well as the risk profile of the deal, which is manifested through the interest rate. Interest rates are absolutely a little bit higher than what you would go to the bank and get. But when a property has a hole in the ceiling, or the foundation is messed up, you can't go get a VA loan for that. You can't go get an FHA loan for that. So when the property is in decent condition, livable, that's a term of art in the financing community. If it's in a livable condition, then you can go get a loan for those, because the bank is looking for an asset that has longevity and that they can see someone can actually be utilizing the property. But if you have anything, plumbing out, major systems out, HVAC units gone, anything that precludes it from being livable, then one of the ways to do that is to look through alternative financing. Again, the rates are better, but if you're buying a property, that's why it's very important that the math works out. We call it penciling out, that the math has got to pencil out. That if the math works, then the rate of interest for a short-term loan, 6, 7, 8 months of a short-term loan to fix the property, push the equity position, the value and the after repaired value of the property, if those margins are large enough, you can pay everybody off, pay off all of your hard money or private money loans, have a property, put it on a new 30-year government-backed loan, low interest rates in the 3s and 4s, and in some instances, get a check back at closing. So it is indeed, it's a strategy that is viable. It works. I trust you to do your due diligence also on your private lenders and your private in your private money lenders, because there are bad actors in that space too. And I think just the last thing I'd like to say is I'd like to go back to your point on partnerships. In my opinion, the greatest value of partnerships is you have to do a piece of the work, but you can get all of the lesson. Okay, you think about if you've got 3 or 4 people going together on something, you can be one of 3 putting in the work, putting in the effort, putting in the dollars, but you, in that 1/3 of effort, you can get 100% of the lesson because you'll be exposed to the entire process. So I think that's just another value of going through partnerships.
Wow, and I need to ask you a question. Hypothetically, I'm going to tell you it's a real situation. I'm going to just ask you right now. So say there's a house out there for $95,000. I'm talking about this house, just in case. I'm talking about her house. Say a house out there for $95,000, right? And I believe fixed up, it really don't need that much work, but it just doesn't look good on the outside because if they would have cleaned it up, it probably would have sold quicker. Say a house $95,000, and they could sell after fixed up maybe $125,000, right? So say somebody buy for $95,000, and maybe sell for $125,000, $130,000. Is that big of enough margin for you to do a private lending on and then get them time to refinance it to get your money back? Is that a big enough spread, or does it need to be bigger than that?
So we tend to use 70 to 75% of the after repair value. That's our sweet spot number, 70 to 75%. So I don't think at 125 that would probably hit that. But if the simple math is take 1/3 of the buy price of 95, so that's roughly 32, and add that to the number. That will get you 75% of the larger number. Okay, so it's about 130 is the magic number that it could pencil at 130. If you could get to 145, 150, then you've actually got room for all of the commissions and whatever to come out. But think about, this is a piece sometimes people miss, is if you would have to go buy that deal on the open market with a conventional loan, putting 20% down as a 20% down position in that loan, and going to the marketplace for a $125,000 loan, that is roughly $25,000 that you'd have to put into that deal. But if you did a hard money loan and you were at 80%, and when it all penciled out, you still had to leave $10,000 in that deal, everybody gets paid back, but the owner had to keep $10,000 in that loan, in that deal. $10,000 is a way better base position than having 25 in the deal. So even with all of that, if the numbers don't work out exact, I've had deals where we've had to leave $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 in the deal. But if you're making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 worth of rent for a year, that's a 100% return on your investment. Where else can you get a 100% return on your investment and have the property also?
So if it's all right, so it's kind of close, but it's not. So they get it for 95, 93, and they do it for 130, and you don't have to pay any commissions on it when they refinance it. That work?
Yeah, that could possibly work because it's really
sold.
it's really
it's sold. Y'all heard it. You got it on tape, Justin. It's sold. Sold. Record it, take it out, write up a contract right now. Because I don't need any money on the back end. I'm just trying to get one of my investors straight. So anyway, we'll talk about it seriously though. But sold for real.
But the math is.
But sold.
But the math doesn't lie. I give you, that's one of my favorite go-tos. The math doesn't lie. If the math works with the appropriate returns and commissions paid in and out, and again, if you have to leave $10,000 in a deal.
But see, I'm not even gonna get commission on the refinance part. Right. You just take it. So see, it works. I'm making a deal you can't refuse. Gonna make it.
We can talk.
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah, we talk on the sideline, but I'm just making sure I advocate for my client because it definitely would be, they'll be able to come in and refinance it, and then you take your fees out. You don't have to worry about Maxwell Realty because the main person I'm worried about is Lynn, because if she can get that one, then I can get another one because they have, how many one-bedroom vouchers you have? You don't even know. 5, I think it's 7, yeah, it's just 7.
The other question I have is that on the loan that you're talking about for this house, what would be the payment on that, the PITI on that?
So our rough math is on every 100,000, it's about $600.
600. So I was just looking at the FMR this morning, excuse me, for the 2022, and for a 1-bedroom in 2022, it goes up to 1,015. So
it does what?
So it's the federal
fair market rent.
Sorry.
I heard, no.
and this is what we're governed by for our HUD program. So on an efficiency, it would be 993. On a 1-bedroom, it's 1,015. On a 2, 1,193. On a 3, 1,676. And on a 4, 2,042.
And that's starting in January.
I'm not sure whether it starts in January or July 1. I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
But that's the 2022, and that's the one that we use. But Andy's better on this than me.
Well, send that to me.
Okay.
Because I got the old chart.
Yeah.
But that one make me sound like I might just buy this myself again.
I thought that might.
Never mind.
The numbers sound a little better, but I'm still gonna work it out with my investors. All right, before we go into the LLC, anyone have any questions about creative finance out there? Yes, ma'am. What kind of credit score? I'm just saying it out loud so they can hear. What kind of credit score are you all looking for as a creative lender, a private lender, as a private lender?
So the credit score doesn't even play.
Reverend, no, you're not, but it just sounds like a preaching moment. the credit doesn't matter. Say that again.
Yeah, your credit score is somewhat irrelevant. okay? There are three things that we look at: the asset, the plan for the asset going forward. So what's the plan to move it from 95 to 130? And then our confidence in the team you've assembled or the investor. If the investor, so your contractor, what's your plan? That's the risk profile. The risk in the deal, real estate is real estate is real estate. The risk in the deal is moving it from 95 to 130. That's where the risk is. And your credit score has nothing to do with that. It's the team.
And don't you fix up houses too?
Yes.
So if they fix it out, see? Sold. So your team would be the one. So you trust your team, right?
We absolutely
All right
trust our
then.
team.
So if we using your team to fix the house you lending on, that 80%, you can kind of work with that. You get 72% might work, right? Because I'm coming up with like 72%. I don't think I kind of go out to the 75. Okay, 72.5 is what I'm coming up with number-wise. But if we can get you to fix that 3%, hallelujah, Jesus. Anyway, any questions? Well, let them know, too, about how to protect themselves when it comes to the rent. Also, I think, I'll talk to you about that offline. You got to go? Y'all clap for Miss Finance. She got to go. We thank her so much. I kept her longer than I thought. Sorry. I'm going to make her late. She's going to be like us Negroes. She's going to be late. We're going to make you black today, girl. You're going to be late to your next meeting. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So Ms. Tawana, she's the one that taught us how to set up our LLCs, all right? And so she's going to kind of tell us, just to give another overview of what we need to do in order to protect ourselves from, as much as we can from certain situations that may happen.
Good morning again. So just to reiterate what we discussed a couple of months ago about how important it is for you to create a LLC when you talk about or when you plan to build a real estate investing portfolio. So what an LLC does, it protects you and your personal assets. If someone goes to sue your LLC, the only thing they can come after is that LLC's assets. They cannot touch your personal assets. That's the reason why having an LLC is super important. Super important. Can't stress that enough. We also discussed where you could go to create your LLC. We use inkfile.com. It's a really, really easy website to use and to navigate. It basically walks you through step by step on how to create your LLC. And that can be a one-person LLC, that can be a multi-member LLC. Make sure you have everyone's information that's going to be a part of your LLC. Make sure you know everyone's role in that LLC, because you'll have to note all of that in your on the website as you register your LLC. Make sure you have a couple of different names in mind, because you will have to check to make sure that the name that you intend to use is available. Also make sure that you already have an idea of who you want your managing member to be. If you're going to only be the only member of your LLC, that can absolutely be yourself. If there's a couple of people, there needs to be a managing person who needs to have more equity in that LLC than everyone else. If it's two people, one person can have 49, one person can have 51. It doesn't have to be a major difference, but you need to have a managing member. Trying to think, is there anything else that you need to have when you sign up? Again, the website is super easy. It's gonna try to upsell you on some products that you won't really need, so don't get caught up in all that extra stuff. I encourage you to start off with the basic package. You'll get your paperwork electronically in a couple of days after you sign up. Also, don't let them trick you into paying the extra to get it in a couple of days, because you're gonna get that paperwork in a couple of days electronically anyway. I think we got our hard copies in about a week. It might be a little longer than that now with everything, all the mail and everything being delayed. But it's a super simple process. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it if you're having some issues. Otherwise, It's super important. I can't stress it enough. It's really, really important to protect yourselves and to protect your personal assets. Because if someone falls on a work site, they're coming after you. Trust me, they're coming after you. Any accidents happen and contractors get hurt, but you definitely don't want them to be able to pursue your personal assets. So protect yourselves.
Protect it, definitely. And what I did was, you saw that video, the nice video about us fixing the tub and things of that nature because of the donations. But I hate that she failed, but that's not through Willard Maxwell if they were to get upset, But at the end of the day, it's Maxwell Realty, and I move all my money out of Maxwell Realty. So you can have the logo if you want it, but I don't put too much stuff in there. So we're gonna get ready to close it out, and I just want to ask my panelists, if they have any final words. You got any final words you want to tell the people, Ms. Muriel?
Yes, I would say to anyone who's on the fence about doing it to really take the time to pray on it. But also, if you're a member here, we're hearing about it all the time, about stepping out on faith and about acquiring wealth and just trusting God. And you can't come here and not move you in some way. So I would say that, if you're on the fence, pray on it, but go ahead and do it. And your pastor is here not only to function as your pastor, but also your broker. He'll hold your hand the entire time. He made himself accessible to answer any questions that I have. So go ahead and go for it. That's why we're here, to do something, because we decided that we wanted to do something different. So if you're here, go ahead and take the leap of faith and do it.
Wow, good words. Mr. Warner? Want to leave him with any final words?
I'd just like to say that, starting off in real estate investing is scary. It's very, very scary. It was very scary for us when we started. My husband, actually, his father is an investor, and he wanted to invest for a very long time before we actually started. What he did was he just immersed himselse in podcasts and webinars and, just did the homework. He did the homework. He followed the people who were obviously already successful in real estate. We have a great resource here. This mastermind is awesome. And I'm hoping you're planning on doing it again next year. Okay. And that's what we need to build generational wealth. I believe that in our culture, we just don't stress that enough. We need to share the wealth. Obviously, we aren't Pastor Maxwell is not getting rich off this mastermind, but there's a wealth of information given in the mastermind. So I just encourage you to spread the word, take this information, run with it. You have resources. We're here to help you, to answer any questions that you have. And as she said, don't let fear keep you from doing big things, doing great things. We never thought, 6-7 years ago when we started, that we would own 20 properties, rental properties, have completed about 15 flips, own properties in Maryland, Chicago, Virginia, never in a million years. But now here our kids they've completed their first flip and are looking for the next one. So don't let fear take over you. Just keep your faith and press forward. If you have any questions, we're here for you.
Takeaway for me is the math doesn't lie. The math doesn't lie. There are so many things we interact with and we engage in and we do and we put our money and things in and we never see the math. For some reason we do it, we believe somebody else did it and somebody else tried it, or you saw it on TV or saw it on the internet and you never see the math. I'm just a big believer in the math of real estate investing is powerful, and especially when you have someone here that says, we have an organization that's ready to give you rent. That's the hardest piece in the whole process, is to have those properties in hand and then finding a renter that has consistent money, and there's no greater consistency than government money. So that's the piece. So when you have the final variable in the equation already lined up, the hardest variable, it's just working backwards from there, and the math doesn't lie.
The math doesn't lie. So we can get that 72% plus use your company to fix it up. We should come. The math does not lie. So that I believe the fixing up will make it go close to 75%. No, seriously though, we thank everyone. Can we give a hand clap for all these panelists? I know there's not that many people in here, but because so many people want stuff for free. but but seriously, if you're listening to this podcast, this YouTube, this whatever format you're listening to on Facebook, reach out to us. We'll definitely help you. Reach out to anyone on this stage, and we'll make sure we help you walk you through this process, because I believe that God wants you to be blessed, because that's what he says. He says he wishes above all things that you be prosperous and in good health. But it says even as your soul prospers. Your soul is your mind, your reason, your intellect, your deduction. It doesn't necessarily mean just the Bible knowledge. It means your knowledge, which means when you study the real estate, when you study the investment, when you study the private lending, when you study that and you begin to build your mind and your knowledge up, that begins to give you the power to do it, because the Bible says he would do exceedingly abundantly above from all you can ask, think, or imagine, according to the power that works in you, right? So the more you know, the more you increase the power in you. And the more he can multiply, because 1 times whatever is that number. But 2 will double it 3. So the more knowledge you build, the more wealth of knowledge you build, the more you read, the more you come to these type of podcasts, the more you come to these type of settings, God begins to do more in you, because now you have more in you. So now he's multiplying on what you already have working in you. All right? So let me keep it simple. Faith without works is dead. So what I'm telling you is, put the work in, learn, call me, reach out to me, email me. The information will be on your screen. Email me at info@maxwellrealty.org, and I'll make sure that whatever question you have, I will answer. If I can't answer, I might send you to the Randolphs. I might send you to Miss Muriel. I may send you to OVM. I may send you to one of my other partners. I don't know, but I promise you the question will get answered. All right? All right, love you all. Talk to you later, and may you have a prosperous day, a prosperous week, a prosperous life. Amen. We out. See you. Bye.